we look at boxing, and you find yourself sitting in front of former two-weight world champion Ricky Hatton, who I bumped into yesterday, just down the road from here, and who informed me, I'll be seeing you tomorrow at 10:30.
Yeah,
and you're doing just that.
Just as I jumped out of the taxi, I think you're stalking me, mate.
I was stalking you, Ricky. It's great to see you, mate. How is life in general?
Never been better, you know what I mean. I'm following the greatest football team up and down the country. I lift in trophies, so that's good. And I've just recently done a little bit of a Legends tour where we've been up and down the country. Me, Frank Bruno, Nigel Benn, and Joe Kawasaki, where we've been, speaking to fans and doing the questions and answers and that, which that has been fantastic. I've been on the speaking circuit for a good while, but it's the first time that the four of us have all been on the stage together, and to hear each other's stories, even though we've been friends for a while, to hear all the stories has been absolutely fantastic. So I've been a very busy chappy, yeah.
Brilliant. I mean, I know for a fact you've become a prominent ambassador for a host of mental health charities, including CAM. We'll get to that in a second. The world of boxing, at the moment, it seems, this man and I are always talking about fights that we want to see happening, but the promoters cannot seem to be able to make them happen. And of course, the big one that we all want to see, we might not ever see, Fury Joshua. If you get any idea as to why that is, why promoters not making the fights we want to see?
I don't know. I mean, what a tragedy for our sport that would be. And I know, the entertainment business and the boxing world has changed so much over the years. We've got YouTubers fighting, mixed martial arts, got mixed martial arts fighting rappers, we've got rappers fighting, and these fights, they need to be made for the sake of our sport. It's hurting our sport that these fights aren't going to happen. I remember back in the day, you won your title, you got a certain amount of dates to defend it, otherwise you got stripped. You know what I mean? And now it's like, when was the last time we saw AJ and Tyson in the ring? It must be around about Christmas, wasn't it? Something like that. So it is hurting our sport. But there's a big fight in the States. Crawford and Spence has been made. I think that was a fight that's not been made forever and a day, but they've finally made it. Yeah. So that one sort of like fills me with a little bit of hope that they've made that fight now. Hopefully, we're going to get the AJ and Tyson Fury fight, or the AJ Usyk or Tyson Usyk. I think it needs to be made for the sake of our sports, because I think there's people that rappers can fight YouTubers and get bigger crowds and bigger purses. And our sport's getting left behind,
Simon, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
I mean, it's only the heavyweight division, though.
Yeah,
it's and unfortunately that's the marquee division, but that's the division that the Saudis want, and the Saudi money is the one that's creating the division in people. You just saw Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia with no belts on the line, as Ricky quite rightly says. You've got Crawford versus Spence, which are £2 for pounds. And so there is an opportunity to do it. It's the heavyweight guys where the money comes from, and the risk profile and the Saudi distortion. And when you see his career, I mean, I was fortunate enough to go and watch him a few times. I watched him fight Costa Tszyu in Manchester. I watched him fight in Boston, fight Luis Colosa to win his WBA belt. And these guys fought. He fought Pacquiao. He fought Mayweather. He fought the best of the best, but the welterweight division has often done that, hasn't it?
Do you think is it the fighter's attitude now, or is it because we're old school, or anything like that? When you think Davis and Garcia fought each other not for belts, and sometimes some fighter doesn't make the weight. The fight still happens. It's just not for the title. Where's the value of being the best in the world gone?
Yes,
as long as you've got the money, as long as the money comes. But that's all that people seem bothered about.
I think that's a brilliant attitude. But when you start to talk, I think there's an entourage around boxers now that commercialise boxers and say, right, I'm not going to put you in this fight. Like Anthony Joshua going to fight Dillian White. He wants a rematch clause in there. Ultimately, this is not even for a belt. But because the commercial commodity of Anthony Joshua is so valuable for the opportunity that exists in Saudi, the guys around him go, well, we're not going to put you in a fight about a rematch clause because you are an opportunity for us to make a huge amount of money. We shouldn't put you in that situation. So it all comes down to money. And I'm in your camp, which is what happened to the heavyweight division where Ken Norton fought Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier fought Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali fought George Foreman. And they all fought Ernie Shavers, and they all fought these guys because that's what the boxing world was about.
But it's like UFC, isn't it? Or mixed martial arts, whatever. One champion, isn't it? It's and I know I mean, I think the fact that there's more belts in boxing, is better for the boxers, because more belts gives more opportunities, more chance for them, you know, to make a few quid.
Yeah.
But you know, the best should be made to fight the best, and you know, I mean, I appreciate, you know, it's how you make your living, and negotiations is a very important part of what happens. Because when I fought Floyd, you know what I mean, you know, if I'm fighting Floyd Mayweather, I want the best deal I can get.
Absolutely.
Of course.
But, you know, you don't want to cut your nose off despite your face. You know, you get a little bit too greedy, want a little bit too much, you might lose it completely.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.